Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Soup Breakdown. Today we're going to be looking at the XM-07 Vigna Ghina, my personal favorite 200 in this game. We've been talking about it a lot over the course of the episodes leading up to it. What is it about the Vigna Ghina that makes it my favorite 200? Well, see, the thing about the Vigna Ghina is it has so many options when it comes to movement. We talked about the skating in the F91 and how cool the side skating is with this ability to get around the map. The skating goes up another notch with the Vigna Ghina. Then it has this nice little sidestep that also includes a fire. It has this roll that's really good and can roll in just about any direction, as I'll show you here. You can roll forward. You can roll to the left or right. It has this wonderful jump back that actually pulls the shield up and allows you to block at the same time. And it has the wonderful, amazing Vigna Ghina striker that fires the exact shot from right here in whatever direction you want to fire it in. The Vigna Ghina is almost unparalleled in 200s when it comes to movement. Then you have the fact that it actually does fairly decent damage for a 200. And there's no question in this game what my favorite 200 is. Being able to just chase people down with how quick that recharges, being able to just get in on top of people, and then if they're pressuring me too much, pull up that shield, jump back, and be able to get some distance. Be able to get away from things like Garobis. It is amazing. And you actually have, I don't know if you noticed there, you have two different charges of this. And you can actually use, you can go ahead and use one and almost immediately the other one will be available. And you can go ahead and just use a second one if you've been recharging them. Now the burst is a melee burst, which is a little weird for a unit that has as good movement options. I guess they just really want you to get in there and capitalize on it. But 253 damage on a 200 burst is not bad at all. At all. And then, of course, you can immediately cancel that out into some of the most fun options in the game. Move through cover using that roll. The Vigna Ghina is, in my opinion, just about as perfect as it gets when you come to movement. And as we've talked about in many episodes of this show, movement is my big thing. If I'm going to play a suit, I want it to have either good movement or I want it to be extremely fun to play with. And the Vigna Ghina is both of those things, in my opinion. Then, of course, we have the ever-present question. Should you use the Vigna Ghina? I don't think I have to answer that question based on what I've already said. But yes, you should use the Vigna Ghina. Now, if you are a fan of melee, the Vigna Ghina's melee is not as powerful, obviously, as some of the other ones. Even among 200s, melee is not quite as good as, say, the gun tank's melee, or as, say, the Hyzack's melee. But with movement like this, that you can cancel out of, being able to just get in, do a couple quick hits. You get this nice little forward. Oh, come on now. You ain't been doing anything but all day. You get the pop-up, of course. You get the nice little forward dash in that goes for the stab. The sidestep that we talked about. And then the basic chain, which is decent enough. It's got a nice little knockback. The big important thing for me on that is it does not go for a down. If you're playing with another player, you can shout out that you're going to be using that knockback. And it will fire them up into the air, but not down them so that your teammate can take them out. But if you want something that's good for mid-range, we talked about the F91 being very good in mid-range. The Vigna Ghina is amazing in mid-range. Mostly because of its ability to... You already have the regular sidestep, but depending on how you use your other options, you get sidesteps with them as well. You get dodges like crazy. If you get hit by an attack you can see as the Vigna Ghina, you made the mistake. As you've seen, I've gotten hit plenty of times. But that's what I love so much about the Vigna Ghina, is it is basically a playground of movement. And it wants you to capitalize on it. It wants you to really just get in there. Now, an interesting thing is that this cannon has drop-off on the bullets. So if it's not homing, but if they are below where you fired, they can still get hit, which is really weird. It's one of the few beam weapons in this game to have that weird property that it has, but... Very, very a lot of fun. Very, very a lot of fun. That's a phrase. I love the Vigna Ghina. If you're asking me if you should use it, the answer is yes. It's very, very good at the mid-range. It's not as good when it comes to the super long range. There's not much you can do in like green lock. But for what you're getting movement-wise, I think it's worth it. Defense-wise, it's a 200. So it's made out of paper mache, and you get hit too many times and you're dead. But it's a 200. So if your cost is 1,000 and you're 1v1ing, you get 5 lives, basically. Which is very nice. All that said, though, I have been Trey. This has been the Vigna Ghina and the Super Breakdown. And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that the Vigna Ghina has to offer.